Now, finally, we look at applying all of these ideas to the Boston HMDA data set, which we had started with. So home loans, home mortgage disclosure act, that is the HMDA. So mortgage home loans are an essential part of buying a home. Are there differential access to home loans by race? This is the main question that we are interested in. That is, if two otherwise identical individuals, one white and one black, applied for a home in loan, identical individuals in the sense of what their ability to repay the loan is, what the home characteristics are, everything, their education, everything else is similar, only they differ in terms of their race, is there a difference in the probability of denial? Okay. So we have data on individual characteristics, property characteristics, and loan denial and acceptance. What is the mortgage application process? You go to a bank or a mortgage company, you fill out an application where you provide your personal and financial info, and you meet with the loan officer. Then the loan officer decides by law in a race blind way. So they will be they want to make profitable loans. Now, of course, during the housing bubble, they were not really considering all the risk factors associated. So they did not really know whether the people they were giving loans, they would be capable of repaying those loans or not. But ideally, you would assume that they want to give loans that are profitable. That is, there is a high chance of the person, applicant, repaying the loan with the interests that they have to pay. So the loan officer's decision, the loan officer uses these key financial variables: PI ratio, payment to income ratio, housing expense to income ratio. So they are not only paying the mortgage, but they are also incurring some expenses on their housing. They may be making changes, they may be doing some repairs to the housing. So that is also taken into account. The loan to value ratio, that is, what is the value of their housing, how much is it valued at, and what is the loan they are asking for. So maybe it is valued at $300,000, the house that they are planning to ask a loan on, and maybe they are asking a loan for, whatever, $50,000. So 50,000 to 300,000, that would be 1 by 6. So loan to value ratio would be 1 by 6. And also their previous personal credit history, that is, do they have a history of repaying loans, or paying bills on time, and so on and so forth. So the decision rule is non-linear. If loan to value ratio is greater than 80%, then they are supposed to take certain decision. If loan to value ratio is greater than 95%, then they are supposed to take some other decision. So as you can imagine, as loan to value ratio goes higher, they will be more stringent in not in denying those particular applications, because you don't want the loan to value ratio to be very high, and also it will depend on their credit scores. So this is how the regression is specified. The probability of denial being 1 given black and other x's is, you can either specify it as a linear probability model, or you could specify it as a probit model, or for that matter as a logit model. Okay, so main problem with the regression so far: there may be potential omitted variable bias. Following variables enter the loan officer decision and could be correlated with race, wealth, type of employment, credit history, family status. Okay, now these are the variables that you have: PI ratio, ratio of total monthly debt payments to total monthly income, and the sample average is 0.3331. Okay, for the entire sample, the average is about 1/3. So that's sort of a high value. Ratio of monthly housing expenses to total monthly income is 0.255. Ratio of size of loan to assessed value of property is 0.738. So people are taking out large mortgage loans based on the value of their property. Consumer credit score. So people are given different kinds of credit scores, of which for take these discrete values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this will be used as a dummy variable in your model. So if there are no slow payments or delinquencies, then they are 1. So this is the best credit score, 1. If they have 1 or 2 slow payments or delinquencies, then 2. If more than 2 slow payments, 3, and so on and so forth. And the worst credit score is if delinquent credit history with payment 90 days overdue. Those are the people with the lowest credit score. Similarly, with mortgage credit scores, if there are no late mortgage payments there, then they are classified as 1, and if they have more than 2 late mortgage payments, then they are classified as 4. And public bad credit record is a dummy variable that takes a value of 1 and 0. 1 is if they have any public record of credit problems, bankruptcy, charge-offs, collection claims, and 0 otherwise. Additional applicant characteristics are dependent on whether an individual applicant is denied or not denied. This is your Y variable. Whether they are self-employed or not, whether they are single or not, whether they have graduated from high school or not. Then what is the unemployment rate in the applicant's industry? Even though you don't have direct unemployment data for a given applicant, but they say that they work in this particular industry, then you have some proxy variable for the unemployment rate. That is, this will give you an idea of whether that person might be unemployed now or may become unemployed in the future. If the unit is a condominium or otherwise, condominium basically means that it has 2 floors and it is, these are not standalone houses, they are adjacent to one another, but typically they have 2 floors or more. Then there is information on the race. If the applicant is black, then it takes a value of 1, 0 if white, and then denied or not denied. Oh, this is denied mortgage insurance. This is not your dependent variable. This is your dependent variable. This is whether they were denied insurance on your mortgage. Then you build your models. The first model is with the linear probability model, LPM, and you have included all the variables. The second model is a logit model. The third model is a probit. Third model to sixth model are all probit models, and they differ in some small ways, which we will see. You have included the race, the PI ratio, the housing expense to income ratio, medium loan to value ratio, high loan to value ratio, consumer credit score, mortgage credit score, public bad credit record, denied mortgage insurance, self-employed, and over here you have whether they are single or not. So till here you had all the financial loan characteristics or application characteristics, what their income ratios are, and so on and so forth. Over here you have self-employment. You are including the variables single, high school diploma, and unemployment rate in this model 4. You are including whether they live in a condominium in model 5, and you are including the black and PI ratio, and black two more interaction variables, black multiplied by PI ratio and black multiplied by housing expense to income ratio. Now you will find that your variable of interest is actually statistically significant in all of these models, except in the last model where you are including the 2 interaction variables related to black multiplied by PI ratio and black multiplied by housing expense to income ratio. So probably there is some multicollinearity going on here, which is why these variables are becoming statistically non-significant. Okay, and if you look at difference in predicted probability of denial, white versus black, you will find that you want the lowest difference that happens in the second model, right? You could of course use other goodness of fit measures. Here the only one they have used is difference in predicted probability. Your best probability happens to be your second model, which is the Logit model, and the next best happens to be your fifth model, which is the Probit model with all the included variables. And in these models you will find that black is highly statistically significant, pi ratio is statistically, it has a positive coefficient. That means if you are black, the probability of denial is high. If you have a high pi ratio, your probability of denial is high. This variable is not statistically significant. You have a medium loan to value ratio, your probability of denial is high. If you have a high, this is relative to the loan to value ratio. So if you're asking for medium, your value, so loan value lies between 0.8 and 0.95 or is greater than 0.95. The more amount of loan you ask for, the higher the probability is that it will be denied. If your consumer credit score is worse, your loan will be denied. If you have a public bad credit record, your loan will be denied. If you have been denied mortgage insurance, your loan will be denied. If you are self-employed, your loan will be denied. So people are worried that you may not continue to be employed and you may not have enough money to repay the loan. So if you are self-employed, your loan will be denied. Interestingly, even if you are single and not married, you have some chance of your loan being denied, probably related to the fact that they feel that single individuals, they may not be steady enough or something like that. If you have high school diploma, if you have graduated high school, you have a lower probability of your loan being denied. But primarily the variable of interest that you have, that is whether there is racial discrimination, you find that despite adding all the other variables, that is there may not be any omitted variable bias, your race does turn out to be highly statistically significant. That means there is in fact some racial discrimination in the denial or non-denial of acceptance of mortgage loans. If you so this is the thing. So the coefficients of the financial variables make sense. Black is statistically significant in all specifications. Financial variable interactions aren't significant. Including the covariates sharply reduces the effect of race on denial probability. So if you include other variables, then you see that the include other variables. So probability of here, where there is probably less omitted variable bias, you find that the effect of race goes down if you include all the other financial variables. You will find that the coefficient of black over here is very different from the coefficient of black over here, but that is to be expected because the Logit specification is different from the Probit specification. So you cannot directly compare this beta value with this beta value because they are two different specifications. So LPM, Probit, Logit all have similar estimates of effect of race on the probability of denial. Estimated effects are large in a real world sense. When we say the effect size, we are really looking at the magnitude of the effect, and as you can see, the magnitude of the effects are pretty high. Okay, even though the magnitude of the effects of certain other variables are even more. So pi ratio has a very high magnitude. That seems to have the highest magnitude. Then loan value has a high magnitude. Public bad credit record has a high magnitude. Denied mortgage and insurance has a high magnitude on your denial probability. So this is the conclusion. So if y is binary, then you estimate the dependent variable is written as is transformed to the probability that y will take a value of 1 given x. You do not directly model y as a value as a function of x, but the probability that y will take a value given x. There are three models that we talked about: the linear probability model, that is linear multiple regression; Probit model, that is the which uses the cumulative standard normal distribution; or the Logit model, which uses the cumulative standard logistic distribution. LPM, Probit, Logit all produce predicted probabilities. Effect of delta x is the change in the conditional probability that y equals to 1. For logit and probit, this depends on the initial x. They are estimated via maximum likelihood, and we can conduct, coefficients are normally distributed, and we can conduct our hypothesis tests and confidence intervals as usual. Goodness of fit of probit and logit models are determined using several means that we have discussed. So here we end this session on regression with discrete dependent variables. I hope the lectures were explanatory, and we end our session here.